Hello, clowns.
I'm Ami.
I'm Yu Chen, and we're the hosts of Clown Vibes Podcast.
We're two best friends who are chronically online and get together weekly to laugh and discuss all the clown behavior we see on the internet.
And there's so much.
Truly so much.
We're so glad to have you here to clown around with us, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Good morning, clowns. We're back again. How do the news people start off their segments? I gotta watch the news so that I could be like really serious.
Or they have like a certain dialect that they have to like say. And I don't know. I used to watch this TikToker who literally gets up at like 4 a.m. in the morning to do a full face of makeup. And she does it so fast. And it like alarms me because I tried to wear mascara for the first time like last week. And I was like, my eye was twitching. Because my eyes were so dry from it. And I'm just like, I don't know how people do it these days.
No, okay. I think that girl has to wipe her makeup off like right after her segments. No?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We have a special guest in our recording.
We do have a very special guest who has not stopped barking for days. Kimchi, please. I'm sick and this dog doesn't understand.
So Ami is dog sitting this doodle named Kimchi. What is Kimchi mixed with?
Golden doodle.
Golden doodle. Okay.
Mini golden doodle.
The doodles, I don't know, but I don't know if I heard it from you or someone else. I'm pretty sure I heard it from you, and I've just been telling everyone, but doodles are out.
No, okay, you did hear it from me, and the reason I think doodles are out is because all over TikTok it's about the wiener.
Yeah.
And personally, it's about the wiener for me. Every day I see this long-haired dachshund like walking around when I take Kimchi out, and I'm just like, damn, I want this dog. Not really, but like, I want the dog for 2 minutes.
The dachshunds are cute. I don't know. I am also biased.
They're so cute.
I have 2 doodles, and I think they're a bit of a menace. I guess like people don't really tell you how energetic they are. They do tell you, but I don't know. Dummy here.
You don't like
realize.
Yeah.
I told my dad, I was like, doodles are out. And he's like, because of Leo? I'm like, ouch.
Aww. I like sometimes randomly think about like how would Sky be right now if he didn't have Leo?
Sky is so chill, so calm.
Yeah.
But he likes to get his zoomies outside, but like Leo is lazy as fuck and like doesn't like to run around and get his energy out. So I think he like nervously chews and just like does his own thing. And I don't know. I don't think he knows how to like handle his own energy.
Fair, but these kids gotta take a chill pill.
Seriously.
They're grown now. Leo and Sky are 21.
They are? Oh, yeah. They're like 21 and dog age. So like 3-ish.
Yeah. And Kimchi's almost 21. She's like a good 16. That's why I think she's been barking so much. She's in her like full-fledged teenage meltdown years.
Yeah. 21 was fun, but not so fun looking back.
Yeah. Okay. On to real stuff. Not that this wasn't real. Anyways, have you been getting spammed by ClassPass?
Yes. And I thought it would stop by now because I started getting spammed. I started getting scammed by them a long time ago. I started getting spammed back in December. Were you getting their email messages?
I was really checked out of life in December, so
Fair.
I wasn't checking anything. And I selected all, deleted every email I had in January without looking at it.
Okay.
So unclear.
Yes. Back in December, I was getting a lot of come back to ClassPass for a free month. And it made sense because I think, they were trying to get people back like during the holiday period where not a lot of people are probably working out. They're traveling, visiting family. And also I was like, they're probably like trying to get some like last minute signups before their accounting book closes to book that revenue.
Yeah.
In. But you know what? I have
course.
continued to get this 1 month free offer for like the past 3 months now.
No, like, okay, so in any given time, you can get this 1 month free offer, but they have been so extra zealous about sending it.
Yes. And every
Which
email is
also tough.
last chance. And I'm like, you told me this a month ago and I didn't sign up.
Yeah, like at no time is it last chance. And okay, so I think it was last Christmas. I did do the 1 month free trial last Christmas. And what sucks actually about the trial, which I hadn't done it in a while, so I didn't know. But once you go to the studio, you can't go back during the trial period.
You can't.
And they blocked so many places. Like I got it because I was like, hey, I really want to go to the sauna. And like I want to be able to work out when I'm at home. But I wasn't able to go to the sauna. Pure Barre wasn't on there when I went home. And the only studio that I really wanted to go to was this yoga one. I could only go once. So I just wasted the trial. But I was also like, I guess it was free, so whatever. But just annoying.
I really want to see like what restrictions that they have set up. But I think the way that they do it for people who are on the trial is they make the credits a lot cheaper for you. So you think like signing up for ClassPass is a good deal, and then they'll jack up the credits when you actually start a membership. And then 2 is like they don't want people abusing the system and like going to like 3 Pure Barre classes on this like cheaper credit. And so they'll block out all the like actually pricey studios.
Yeah, which like I get, but your free trial should be indicative of like what your actual service is. Yeah. And I've been seeing TikToks about how like 2 people side by side will look at the same class and have different credit amounts. And that is just so scammy.
So scammy. But that like reminds me of when we were booking our, was it Seattle trip? That we never ended up going to. But some trip that we were booking our tickets side by side, and I had like mine completed booking literally a second before yours, and then your price went up. Do you remember that?
Yes, I don't think it was Seattle. I think it was when we went to New York to see Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that was unfortunate. This, I think, is even worse because people aren't like booking. It's not like one person booked the class and that's why it jumped for the other person. Like they're just looking at it and it's 2 different prices for them.
Do you think ClassPass is profitable?
No way. No chance. They're not profitable, and I don't think that they are helping studios at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder
because they're not paying the studios much.
How do you know?
From hearsay.
Wait, is this all just speculation or do you actually know?
Okay, this is not fully speculation, but it is speculation. Like, so I used to use ClassPass to go to True Fusion, the gym I've been going to for years at this point. And they at one point got off of ClassPass because they were like, this is not worth it for us. And so they basically ran a deal that was like, you can come to True Fusion for 60 days for $30 to like basically get you in since they got off
That
of
is
ClassPass.
Literally such a good deal.
It's such a good deal. And like, it worked. Like I've been a loyal customer for 3 years now, or like I paid for this entire year already. So it worked. But like they did that. I've seen on Reddit that it's this. So it is hearsay and speculation, but I feel like I've heard it from multiple sources. So something's fishy.
They're not a public company, right? They were,
I don't think so,
bought by Mindbody. Which Emi has intel.
I have a source that works at Mindbody and said that once the merger happened, they just combined workforces, and ClassPass corporate culture was so toxic that now it's made Mindbody culture really toxic as well, which is sad.
Is any VC funded company in the heydays of VC tech companies ever not toxic?
No way. They're a hundo P toxic.
Okay, should we get into our main topic today?
Yes.
So I'm super excited for this episode, but today's episode is all about workout classes and kind of the concept that we've been seeing that capitalism has created this inevitable feeling of like elitism and exclusivity within our society through the concept of workout classes. And what we mean by that is, I mean, what is a super exclusive culty workout class that comes top of mind?
Soul Cycle and Berries.
Yes. And like when you say Soul Cycle or Berries, you literally picture the type of person that goes. And it's not me, but I do go to Berries sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, we both go to them sometimes. Like, I go to Seoul sometimes, but we're guests. Like,
Yes,
we're
at
not
best.
integrated. And you know what I was just thinking of when you said that? Is like, also when you use ClassPass to go to the studio, sometimes they'll also, like, not treat you differently, but you can just feel like there's, like, a different air if they're like, we can't find you. And then you say, like, oh, I booked on ClassPass. Rather than, like, being a member.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And when I'm booking through Berries, they only reserve certain spots specifically for ClassPass, and they're always like the spots that I don't want. They're like never in the center of the studio where you have like the most breathing space, or like next to a wall or something. And I'm just like, I'm third class, third tier citizen here.
Savage.
Okay, but let's start with kind of the start of workout classes, because it's not always been a thing. Like when we were in middle school, even high school, I never hear of people really going to workout classes. And growing up, did you ever do any of those like workout videos on VCR? Like the jazzercise classes or
I don't think so. Did you?
Sometimes I would. Sometimes my mom would. I don't know. By sometimes I mean 1 or 2 times. But I was like a pretty active kid growing up.
Yeah.
But like we would get them from the library and we would do them. But like that's how I envision workout classes. Like you don't really go to a lot of studios and do it in person unless you're at the gym and like it would be Zumba or it would be yoga.
Yeah.
It would be like you have to sign up for a gym membership at the Y or something. But a lot of these like boutique classes didn't really exist out of yoga and dance classes.
Yeah. I used to go at the gym because my mom worked at the gym. So we had like a free membership. And so I would go to classes sometimes. And she used to go to classes at the gym. But it's a very different feeling to go to a class at a gym versus like these boutique studios.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why they started popping up in the mid 2010s when we were kind of in college, is going to these boutique studios was kind of like a nice luxury to have that I couldn't really afford. But you would see some of our classmates working at these boutique fitness studios as like the receptionist or sometimes as like a student teacher. And then do you remember how Gregory Gym, which is the gym at our school, would have this like fitness workout membership? I signed up for it.
Oh, you did?
I did, but I felt like, well, it wasn't that elite because it was through Gregory.
That's our college gym for reference.
They would have spin, but spin was always extra. They would have yoga, but you had to like bring your own mat. They had like core classes. I don't know. I did it one semester and I was like, I don't know if this is really worth it. And also, I'm always the type of person that loves going to workout classes with friends sometimes. And those classes were always just like, I didn't feel like I really belonged or I didn't get the vibe, which is kind of why workout franchises have been so successful. Is it's all about the vibe.
It is all about the vibe. And you know what I've, I guess not realized, but I've tried to take a lot of friends to True Fusion, and everyone basically is like, I didn't understand this class. What I feel like besides actual cash payment, the other payment that you make to become part of this cult is like 5 to 10 classes of feeling super uncomfy. Like that's the second form of payment to like belong in the community.
I have a question because I feel like you bought into your gym membership or like your fitness studio membership super early when you joined or when you moved to Dallas. Do you think you would have been more judgmental of the studios and the fitness classes if you weren't bought into like a membership?
Like in general, like in this episode, or what do you mean?
Just like in general, like would you have like been like, oh, this doesn't really work for me, et cetera, if you didn't have a membership?
Well, I didn't have a membership for like 4 or 5 months.
Oh, right, because you're doing it through ClassPass.
They had a very long trial period, and the only reason that like I bought in was because when they were like, I'm getting off of ClassPass, I was like, no way, I don't like that. So maybe I do really like this place.
Oh, yeah, they basically dangled it away from you and you were like, membership time.
I'm in. What's nice about True Fusion is they have every type of class, but also what I did really appreciate, and I appreciate to this day, is they start every class with do what you want. if you don't want to do this, you can chill. If you don't want to do what I'm doing, do something else. Like, you can do whatever you want and like it's fine. And I would see like the hottest people just stand there sometimes or lay down. And I was like, yeah, this is the place for me. It really did feel like a judgment-free zone, which I appreciated.
And that is exactly, I think, what is different from True Fusion, where it's a judgment-free zone, to some of these very elite workout studios that have popped up, I would say 2017, 2018. So like what I'm thinking of is Barry's. All the like New York studio names are like Equinox, which isn't a workout studio, but it's like elite workout gym. I remember when I was doing Barry's in New York and everyone was so crazy fit. And the instructor would yell at you if you were like not running the minimum speed that he had suggested. And like in New York, I would say 90% of the people who did Barry's was fit, but like isn't the whole point of starting your fitness journey so that like it's expected that you aren't able to do the bare minimum at first?
Yeah, and like you should be welcoming of people at every point of their fitness journey, like not just super fit people. And also super fit people, like every once in a while you're gonna be sore to where you can't do it, and like you shouldn't push yourself. So I don't like that.
Yeah, and I felt like it was only in the late 2010s where you start hearing of people saying like, oh, I go to Barry's, oh, I'm a member at Equinox. Like before, I don't think I would remember anyone saying like, oh, I'm a member of Core Power, I'm a member of so and so. It's just like, oh, I went to a yoga class. But somehow there was a shift of like working out and just being fit to now I'm a member of the studio and it's a badge. And like it means I'm different from you.
Do you think that's because that's when we entered the quote unquote real world? Or do you think that's just like in general what happened in the fitness industry?
I think it's a general trend of the okay. I think like people who are a lot older, like for example, we're going to get into Tracy Anderson in a sec, but people who did Tracy Anderson have been doing Tracy Anderson for a while, but they were like celebrities or celebrity adjacent individuals. I do feel like with the trend of having workout studios and the franchising of workout studios just made group fitness classes more accessible to the average person. Like they were affordable at first. And with the help of classes, I really do feel like ClassPass has basically propelled the fitness industry into what it is today.
No, totally. You could like go to so many classes for free at the beginning through VC money.
Yeah. And that inherently just made going to workout classes more feasible. And that's when people started like saying like, oh, you should go to this studio or you should go to that studio. Whereas before, like, people were just going to these classes at their gym or like going to one-off classes with their friends, but it never really became a thing until the late like 2010s, I would say.
For sure. Like I remember the first time I went to a Soul Cycle class, it was through work because I would travel for work and you got $100 a month to spend on workout stuff. And I used to feel so uncomfortable going in general because everyone knew what the hell was going on. And I was like, la-di-da, just in the back, like dying.
Should we talk about the history of workout classes with the start of ClassPass? Did you know that ClassPass started out as a concept for the founder to attend dance classes?
Oh, interesting. Did you know the founder is Indian?
I did know that because I think I listened to a podcast episode a while back from her.
How We Built This?
Yes, the How We Built It episode. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
And she wanted to attend workout classes. But I think what people don't realize is that ClassPass and Uber are kind of the same thing. Inherently, like they're trying to become like they're changing up the middleman or becoming the middleman and allowing what used to be somewhat of an elite service more to become more accessible to the average person.
Yeah.
I can't believe I missed this. If I was out of school maybe 2 years earlier, I would have been on this. But in order for ClassPass to, get as many new customers as possible, their acquisition strategy was that they would give you unlimited classes for $100.
Yeah.
And in New York, where the options, like the world is your oyster. Is that the term? The world is your oyster?
Yeah, that is.
Okay. That's an amazing deal.
For sure. I remember people doing it in college, but like I was not big into it. Like I was really in my gym mode at the time. So I didn't take advantage either. And I feel like we could have in Austin.
I forgot that you had a gym era because
Yeah, because I've just been a class girl for so long.
yeah, that's like your personality. I can't even get you to go to a gym. It's like you got to go to a class.
I know.
But essentially, these workout classes were being funded by VC money because how expensive would like an average New York City class cost at that time? Maybe like $20. So that means like you would at least need to get go to 5 classes to be able to get your money's worth. And there's no way these New York girlies are only going to 5 classes when you have an unlimited membership. It's like 2 to 3 times a week at min.
This was like Movie Pass, Uber, Class
Yes.
Pass era.
The passes.
And
bring it back.
The pass era. Bring it back. That was the best time.
The best time, but so not affordable. Or like so not affordable to the companies. Like there's no way that they're making a profit out of it.
It was just being funded by big money. And I don't know if big money is a term, but I'm going to coin it. I miss that time because we should benefit from big money to this, like still. And I'm sad that we're no longer benefiting from big money.
And then like as Class Pass was kind of allowing classes to become more accessible to all individuals, rich or poor, a lot of these boutique studios kind of saw that people were getting into fitness, and in order to stand out, I think they had to create this, vibe, this feeling of like we are different than the rest. And I think that's kind of also when SoulCycle became like super big. Like SoulCycle, who else during that time was just like becoming so big?
I used to hear about Rumble a lot, but like I don't feel like Rumble really was like long lasting.
Ooh, you know what? Okay, the fitness studios that I like think of back to like the late 2010s of being exclusive is Rumble, SoulCycle, and Equinox. And guess what? I think they're all owned by the same company now.
Oh, that makes sense.
That
checks
sense.
out.
It's on brand. If anything, it's on brand.
When did berries like become a thing? I can't really remember. I want to say also back then, Orange Theory was like really up and coming. But now I feel like Orange Theory is like a cult favorite, but it's not elite.
No. And I think it follows the trend, right? Like in the late 2010s, it was all about the cult classes. Like you had status if you attended these and were a regular, and like your body showed because you're literally putting your body through so much stress attending all these classes. But I think it was around 2020, especially the pandemic, where it literally shifted the entire fitness industry, in which people weren't able to go to these classes and people were all about do what's like best for you. I felt like it was all about the gentle exercising, like the Chloe Ting, low impact workouts at home, hot girl walking with your friends in your neighborhood. We were in like the slow workout phase of society, and I kind of loved it.
I kind of loved it, and I actually think that phase has stayed in some ways because we're still in like the low impact trend era. Like it's all about Pilates. It's all about walking still.
I will say I'm in my Pilates phase, and it has been the workout style that I've been the most consistent with. I was pretty consistent with yoga, and I think yoga or hot yoga in New York was like the best for my body at the time. But hot yoga in New York is different from hot yoga here. Hot yoga in New York is like you're actually working out. They're like throwing in HIIT exercises too in there. And you're right. Like I think low impact is still in. But have you been seeing all this stuff about Tracy Anderson coming out of New York? It literally scares me.
Oh, have I?
Are we back into like culty elitism in workout classes? Because I don't think I'm ready for that.
I don't think we are, because most of the videos are kind of making fun of it. But I have been seeing a lot of videos in general about it. So Tracy Anderson is basically this celeb fitness guru, seems really generous. She is a celeb fitness white woman. And
Key.
Yeah, she basically created this quote unquote method where you're kind of just flailing your body around. Her goal is for you to be very thin, not really have any curves.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically partnered with Gwyneth Paltrow, which I feel like anything with Gwen is low-key scam vibes. Do you agree?
Yes. And every time I think about Gwyneth, I think about Goop and I think about The Politician.
Mhm.
Did you ever watch The Politician?
Yeah.
Which her character is very scammy and like represents
Mhm.
Gwyneth Paltrow. I can't decide, is her scammy personality all a ploy or is she actually like this? Like, does she actually believe in like everything that she's supporting right now?
What's scary is I think she believes it.
Okay, so it's not just her, like, you know, feeding into this persona that people have given her. It's actually her real persona.
I think so because I feel like there's very little evidence to contradict that this is her true person. And I don't know if she's like just really good at masking, but like based on what we can see, I think it is her.
That's interesting. But yes, she's a supporter of Tracy Anderson method.
Yeah, she's a supporter of Tracy Anderson method. So I want to say like a month or two ago, we started seeing videos on TikTok, and maybe it was like a couple videos that just really went viral because it was a really what the fuck are you guys doing situation. But basically, there's a gym in New York and LA, the Tracy Anderson method gym. And you pay $1,500 initiation fee and then $900 a month.
Jail.
Which is obviously shocking to everyone. That is double some people's rent. That is more than double some people's rent. I mean, probably not more than double anymore, but like at least double some people's rent. And you go to this place. It's a heated room with a lot of humidity, 95 degrees with 75% humidity. And no one talks. Like the instructor does the movements, but you have to basically do the movements watching her without any cues, which is very bad form.
Very bad form. When I saw the videos and everyone was saying how you have to like crank your neck up to look at the instructor, I was like, no, I absolutely cannot do that because one of the core things about Pilates, and I would say like, I actually don't know what Tracy Anderson method is because it isn't Pilates. She says it's dance inspired, but it is like low impact moves similar to Pilates. So I'm going to say it's Pilates adjacent. And like one of the key things about like Pilates and core work is like having a stable neck so that you literally don't injure yourself. And I feel like I would just get a kink in my neck immediately from working out.
For sure. That is like so bad for your neck. I think you're right. I think it's very Pilates-esque and very bar-esque from the moves I've seen. But you're really just like flinging your body around.
You are.
Class. There's like no real method to this madness.
If you haven't seen the videos, I highly encourage you to Google Tracy Anderson method because you're right. They are just flinging their bodies around. At one point, they're asking you to do a split. And I'm just like, in what? Like, please explain to me why this is like part of, like, what am I working out? Unless we're working out flexibility and it's like a build towards flexibility, you don't need to be getting into a split immediately with your ankle weights.
Yes. And like getting into a split for 1 second and then getting out of it, rolling out of it. It's crazy. And I fucked up my algo, I'm sure, last night just looking at so many Tracy Anderson videos. So you're welcome, clowns, for ruining my life. For this episode.
I want to talk about the $1,500 initiation fee because I actually don't understand why gyms need an initiation fee. Like, I understand why. Yeah. I think it's kind of like when you sign up for another membership and they're like, we at least want you to put your first month's down. To me, an initiation fee is kind of like a first month's payment. But $1,500 is way more than like what they're asking for the first month. And also, what kind of setup do you need to do to justify a $1,500 fee in comparison to Equinox, which I think is like it's second tier compared to them now, supposedly. Yeah. Equinox is only like $300 to $500 only, which is really expensive.
Which is so wild. Actually, like after seeing the Tracy Anderson stuff, I'm like, oh, Equinox is a good deal. And in no world, like, is that comparable? And like, how ridiculous of a thought. I think for like normal gyms, when they ask for like the $30 initiation fee or whatever, it's like to get you set up and get you the fob or whatever and kind of get you committed.
Yeah.
But $1,500, that's crazy.
Crazy. Okay.
You can just walk into these classes.
Yeah, you can.
So it's confusing. Like, they do have members only classes, but they do have classes that like any Joe Schmo can walk into. And I think it's like $50 for a class, which is also batshit.
Bad shit. I want to talk about the $900 monthly fee because in comparison, Equinox is only $300. And how much are you paying at True Fusion?
Monthly would be $170, but I did that Black Friday deal. So right now I'm like averaging $140 a month, which is such a good deal.
Such a good deal. And even like at $170, I feel like is
$170 is a steal.
Super reasonable. And so like a $300 at Equinox for that elite status, and like they do give you a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I say it's like not terrible. $900 for a workout studio, like one workout studio, is crazy. I don't know if they have like multiple locations, but how many locations can you actually have in New York City?
I don't think they have that many. I want to say at most they have 3 in New York, and I think that that's not even true.
Yeah. So this woman that I found on TikTok who kind of talked about her experience and why she liked it, she's like, yeah, you know, if you calculate how many times that you use it, like it comes down to $30 a class, which is cheaper than a lot of workout classes. I'm like, doing the math, $30 for $900 a month. That means she's going at least 30 times in a month, which means you're pretty much
like
going
every day.
Every day. And that itself is either not right or it's like an elite symbol in itself that like you can go to a workout class daily.
Yeah, like you have the time to do this. And I feel like for your body, that's not healthy to have no rest days.
No rest days.
Ever. I mean, the thing is, like, even $30 a class, there are a lot of places that if you have the membership, it averages way lower than 30 a class. So, yes, 30 a class, if you're really going 30 times a month, is less than you doing 30 just single drop-in classes at random places.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not cheaper than other New York memberships.
I wonder how many people actually pay for the membership, because I've only heard of this one woman. Like everyone else that I see are only going in for like the drop-in classes.
99% of the videos I watched last night was people being like, let me try this, and then being like, I hated it.
Yeah.
And remember I said like there's a 5 to 10 class hazing period for most gyms. I would say like this one probably has like a 20 to 30 class hazing period because you don't know what's going on. There's no queuing and no one's talking. Like what a odd culty experience, have to be so in the know to know what's going on.
Side note, what is that really culty Pilates class in New York? It's not Core Power.
Is it Solid Core?
Solid Core.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the workout classes that I think there's like an extremely high hazing period as well, because no one is ever used to basically doing a plank for like 40 minutes straight.
One just like neurotic thing about Tracy Anderson is she is terrified people are going to steal her method, to where she treats her employees horribly.
What is her method? She doesn't have a method.
Literally what's her method? But like she just seems like a batshit person, which I think is a fun side note to the whole situation, which you could have gauged from her quote unquote method. Just the fact that she's like so terrified that people are going to steal something so nonsensical is so funny. That's why I think Gwen believes in this shit that she is, because like how would you invest in someone who is so irrational if you're not irrational yourself?
Yeah. I think that brings me kind of to my point about a lot of these workout founders and you hear a lot about how toxic they are, but it kind of makes sense. Like fitness itself and like being super fit in a elite way is psychotic in itself. Like you have to think you're better than everyone else because you look better than everyone else, and you are literally selling the lifestyle of being better than everyone else. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Like it just like we're all selling an
sure.
unattainable image that one person was able to achieve, and essentially they're scamming the rest of us to like say like we can achieve it too.
Yeah.
The one founder that I think is like really representative of this experience is Melissa Wood Health. Have you heard of Melissa Wood Health or MWH?
I have not at all.
Okay. She also has like her method or whatever. It's just Pilates. Like it's not Tracy Anderson in that way. And at least she's not financially scamming everyone in the way that Tracy Anderson is. But she has like she has fitness classes that are all digital. And I don't know if she has a studio, probably not. But it's pretty much like $12 a month or like $120 a year, very similar to like the Aloe Moves membership, which I think is like totally fine. But I think she also like she has an entire brand that she supports, and like her brand itself is her and her very, very lean and toned body. And then she does a lot of like nutrition content that some people say like I actually don't know if she follows this or not, and some people like don't know if she's actually being restrictive of her body versus like what she's actually saying or like instructing her clients to do. But I bring up Melissa Wood Health because she is a prime example of tall, skinny white woman that has built a fitness empire around being a tall, skinny white person that exercises. She's also heavily backed by a husband that is filthy rich. And even though she does exercise for the fitness videos, that's not what she's selling. She's selling the like image of being super pretty, super skinny, and tall. But I always think about her because she's actually super good friends with Danielle Bernstein. Sometimes we talk about a lot on the episode. Also, Melissa Wood Health isn't her full name. That's just like her brand now. It's called Melissa Wood Health, whatever health means.
Is her name Melissa Wood?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I would have assumed.
Okay. And then during COVID, like peak May or like summer of COVID, she threw this big party in the Hamptons.
Of course.
But it's like it tracks because, of course, she is able to throw a party in the Hamptons during a time of like COVID. Like it tracks to this feeling of I'm elite and I have all these resources to allow the guests to take COVID tests when COVID tests were a scarcity at the time.
Yeah, such a scarcity. And so expensive at the time. What really grinds my gears about these founders is like, are you just naturally this skinny and then trying to tell everyone like your method is the reason you got there? I think, yeah.
You have to. Everything comes back to capitalism because that's how you sell the dream. And a lot of these founders, like they weren't skinny to begin with. Tracy Anderson wasn't skinny to begin with. Like her whole story is like she gained 40 pounds when she moved to New York City, and she was like trying all these things. She learned these techniques through this trip to Puerto Rico or something, and she's like passing down her knowledge to you so you can become what she is now.
Yeah, but like the thing is that what has kept you this way this whole time? Or because you have an extremely rich husband, you have other ways of maintaining this like weight, and you're now purporting that your method is what is keeping you this skinny. And it could be.
It could be. But there's so many other factors. Like diet is such a huge factor to someone's and genetic too. Like genetics and like diet and fitness. And like it all comes together. It's not just one method, and it's not one method that will work. But I think in like a capitalist society, which is the one that we live in right now, you have to market towards one method. And that's what these women are doing. And I think in a way they're kind of feeding into the females' insecurity and desire and men too. It's not just specific to female, but like we all want to achieve that elite status, and like inherently humans want to be better than everyone else. That's just like ingrained in our psyche. And workout classes have like, even though they're community driven and we like spew the thought of like, oh, we're together in this journey, because in a way fitness and health itself is an elite activity. Like not everyone, literally not everyone can be skinny. It just inherently creates this feeling of elitism and exclusivity that comes and goes but will never go away.
Like not everyone can afford to go to classes. Not everyone can afford to go to like a midday class and go to a class every day. Like there are a lot of things that this like fitness industry of exercise class has created because of the situation.
Do you remember when Insta stories was like the thing back then, and people who would go to like 6 a.m. classes, like they will not skip a 6 a.m. workout class story.
No, they would
guaranteed.
And like, why is working out at 6 a.m. before work like a symbol of elitism? Which it is. It's also just like you can work out after work too, but like waking up early gives you a power that like you can use forever. And
Forever.
I felt this power too when I used to do that. And now I'm like, what the fuck?
It's actually not that elite though. Like, do you remember
It's not.
fighting for the 2 mirrors that were in the studio? Everyone was like in line taking a shower. The dressing room smelled like dirty socks the entire time. And you had to like take your wet bag of like clothes to work every day.
No, it was luckily, like, I didn't have to shower there. I would come home and shower and then go to work. But everyone was fighting for their life. And I hated that time, actually. I think I was, like, depressed doing this.
You know what is actually elite, though, is being able to work out in the middle of the day. I know we talked about this a lot, but
so elite.
Actually, whenever I was, like, waiting for my new job to start, I would go to these workout classes in the middle of the day. They're actually the toughest people, the toughest women in Pilates are the ones that go in the middle of the day. And they're like 40-year-old women who are just like stay-at-home moms. And that's all, that's what they do between like taking care of their kids and like keeping the household afloat. But they also go to workout classes in the middle of the day and their abs are hard as rocks.
No, they're so fit. We've been talking about this in therapy, but like, what's my perfect day? And my perfect day is going to a 10 a.m. workout class during the week. No one's there. You're not fighting for your life. The teacher knows everyone because it's regulars.
Yeah.
And everyone is like friends or friendly. There's like no competition, but then also everyone is so fit.
So fit.
It's just a very different vibe. It's the best. And only influencers or rich people can kind of afford to do that.
I know we talked a lot about the influencer world lately and, you know, how it's grown or like, I don't know, gotten a little bit out of control lately in the past few years. But I think one of it is the partnership between influencers and workout classes or ClassPass, workout studios, etc. And how they're kind of all work towards the shared goal of creating like this elite desired lifestyle, right? Like I think that's why you see at the beginning of like Dog Pound and now Alo Yoga is hiring models, like really successful models to come work out at their gym because they're all selling the same thing, which is selling this unattainable lifestyle where you can be super tall and skinny and also work out during the day. That's what they're selling. Do you remember how Corporate Natalie literally got canceled? I guess she's canceled now for sure, right? She hasn't bounced back from her cancellation.
But it's a very recent cancellation, so I think she'll bounce back.
Yeah, but essentially she got canceled because she was addressing this hypothetical situation of like this manager basically telling this guy like, no, I expect you to be on call at 8 a.m. for this meeting. And he's like, but I booked a workout class at 8 a.m. and I put I paid for it. And she's basically like, that doesn't really matter. All that's to say is it'll be interesting to see how Gen Z like considers workout classes and how that plays into the workforce with millennials becoming their managers. Because in a way, I think from that one experience and what I see in the comments, people are still taking like paying for these workout classes as like the holy grail and like they deserve to go to these workout classes because they paid hard money for it. But at the end of the day, like going to a workout class is a luxury outside or even during work hours.
I actually did that one time where I was like, I can't come in that early because I have to go to Seoul. Sorry.
And what did your manager say?
She was just like, you can cancel. I'm like, no, I can't cancel. And I was like rolling off that project anyway. And she was like, fine, do whatever the fuck you want. But I was supposed to come in at like 7 a.m., which is really early and very odd. I was like, no, I have a 6:30 Seoul class. I can come in as soon as that's done. And she was just kind of like, okay.
Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on all social media at Clown Vibes Podcast or email us at clownvibespodcast@gmail.com. And if you like our show and want to support us, please like, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. That's it for today. Bye, clowns.
Bye, clowns.